Alright, so most anime only fans probably look at Super Dragon Ball Heroes, the promotional anime, as like an epic AMV for Dragon Ball every couple of weeks or whatever. It's cool to watch, but it isn't really fleshed out and ultimately lacks substance, I guess. However, the thing about it being cool to watch is that this isn't an understatement in the slightest. There's so many what-if scenarios and battle combinations that fans have been yearning for decades, and it's all presented through one distinct storyline that spans over multiple sagas. That's right, this thing is peak fan service, but since the anime is basically just a promotion for the game, it lacks the cohesiveness that makes stories memorable in the first place, you get what I mean? However, the Super Dragon Ball Heroes manga kind of fixes that. The highlights are still the same, but everything is much more fleshed out and is properly paced. Plus, the art and all of that ridiculousness only continue to increase in quality as you go further into the manga. There are 3 complete sagas, and then there's the Ultra God Mission saga, which is currently ongoing, and it features a space-time ultra tournament where memorable characters from different timelines all come together to face off in one gigantic tournament, which should sound familiar, right? But that is gonna be a video for another time. For now, let's begin the Dark Demon Realm saga.
However, before we carry on with that, let me bring you something great. That's right, Raid, baby. This game has sucked in countless hours of mine over the past few days, much less weeks or months. I've been playing and playing and playing. And if you'd like to play too, go ahead and use the link in the description or QR code right here, bam, and you can download that on mobile and PC, and you can be starting your Raid adventure no sooner than right now. There's a ton of reasons why I continue to play Raid almost every day, but one of my favorite lately has been the bosses. The bosses are always epic and cool, and it feels very rewarding to slay them. Let me tell you about one of my favorites, Bommel the Dreadhorn. He's this awesome, giant, ironclad, almost minotaur-like creature with horns towering over you, and truly fighting this boss feels like it's a life or death scenario, and I love that. And of course, there are new events going on right now, as always, such as the Forge Pass Season 3. It has some limited items and artifact sets that are absolutely amazing for anyone trying to experience Raid to its full potential. Not only that, but they're also bringing out some awesome skin lines for the current champions we already have, such as skins like the Madame Sarah skins and tons of others. Alongside that, something is happening right now that has never happened before. At the long-awaited request of many fans, Raid Shadow Legends is releasing a version of Death Knight never seen before. Ultimate Death Knight. I truly cannot wait to see how cool Ultimate Death Knight is in-game. Listen, there truly is no better time than the present. If you scan the QR code or click the link in the description, you will get a free starter pack that's worth almost $30 of in-game content. That's crazy value. Alongside that, you'll get a free champion, Turles. He looks sick, and he's an absolute unit on the battlefield. Listen guys, there seriously has never been a better time to strap up and hop on to Raid Shadow Legends. So grab your gear, grab your champions, and let's get going.
So all of this kind of started with Future Trunks. He comes back to his own timeline after the events of the Cell Saga, and then proceeds to first destroy the androids and then Imperfect Cell 3 years later. He had successfully cleared the Cell Saga, but shortly after, he finds himself in an unfamiliar realm called the Time Nest. And before he can get a full grasp on what's going on, he starts getting scolded by the Supreme Kai of Time, Kronoa. Now, naturally, Trunks has always been a big time offender, but the situation she was referring to miraculously wasn't his fault. It was essentially an abnormal disturbance in the space-time continuum. Though Trunks of course did have his way with the time machine, so in order to make this up to Kronoa, he decides to lend her a hand with the investigation, and so just like that, the legendary Time Patrol is born. Kronoa gives Trunks a uniform worthy of the Time Patrol name, and from this moment onward, he's no longer Future Trunks, and this is how Xeno Trunks came to be. Together they head to the location of the investigation, an abnormal physical place that doesn't exist in any recorded history of the universe. Once there, they notice the presence of 3 individuals. 2 of them are talking about gathering enough Kiri, which as you all probably remember was the unit of measuring dark energy or damage energy, and it was used by Babidi and Dabura in the Buu saga. Just like them, these 2 mysterious individuals Toa and Mira are also related to the demon realm. And as for the third one, he is a masked individual who looks like a certain Saiyan whom we're all very familiar with. Kranoa and Trunks quickly confront them as the Time Patrol, and while Kranoa does an elegant pose, Trunks lets her enthusiasm down. Then the battle takes place, and it escalates rather swiftly. Mira unleashes an energy blast at Kranoa, but Trunks deflects it with his sword. Instantly, the masked Saiyan launches himself at Trunks and catches him off guard. Meanwhile, the other warrior named Mira is restrained by Kranoa, who basically froze the time around him. The battle with Trunks and the masked Saiyan climaxes when Trunks goes Super Saiyan and lands a solid punch on his face, effectively putting a crack in the mask. Mira, on the other hand, manages to overpower Kranoa's ability and is ready to attack Trunks, but the masked Saiyan hits him instead. Trunks was already having his concerns about this Saiyan, but now that the mind control had started to wear off and the mask was broken, this Bardock from an alternate timeline regains his consciousness. Trunks recalls how he looks like Goku, and the two of them together fight Super Mira. It doesn't take long before the two Saiyans overpower this demon and seemingly make them retreat. Though it looks like just by fighting against Trunks and Bardock, they were able to amass massive amounts of Kitty. So they bail after stating that the demon realm will soon be free. Trunks now tries to ask Bardock if he knows someone named Kakarot, but before he can give an answer, Kranoa takes him back to the time nest. She didn't want to disrupt another timeline, so once there, they come face to face with an intruder. His name is Demiurge, and he's one of the evil wizards from the Dark Demon Realm. Right in front of the Supreme Kai of Time, he declares that his only interest is taking her position as the Overseer of Time. The man leaves after making such a big declaration, and the scale of what the Time Patrol has had to deal with was growing at an insane rate. Trunks expresses his desire to get stronger so that he can continue to deal with them, and to that end, the Supreme Kai of Time summons the strongest warrior from his memories in order to help him get stronger. And you guys probably guessed it, this is when Xeno Goku finally arrives, the strongest person from Trunks' memories. And she's already put him in his Time Patrol drill. Meanwhile, back at the Demon Realm, Toa revives the Dark King Mechikabra, though the man was already too old to do much of anything, kinda like Moro. Toa tells him about the Dark Dragon Balls and how he can use them to restore his youth. But an air of disappointment fills the room when the creator of these Dragon Balls, Time Breaker Xeno Dende, tells them that they'd have to gather them first. The Dark King says it's alright as he already knows the location of the first one, and he then proceeds to reward Toa with the status of Demon God for first reviving him and then telling him about the Dark Dragon Balls. Back at the Time Nest, Xeno Trunks and Xeno Goku have been training in a room for 6 months. Subsequently, Kranoa was checking the scrolls to see if there was any other disturbance throughout history. When Trunks and Goku are done with their training, they realize that it's only been about 3 days since they started, as Kranoa had tampered with the time in their training room. When they do emerge, she asks them to go take care of this new disturbance, and just like that, Xeno Trunks and Xeno Goku head to planet Namek. Super Saiyan Goku was already engaged with an enraged Frieza, and for some sinister reason, Frieza seems to have defeated the Super Saiyan. Just when he was going to kill Goku, Xeno Trunks interferes, but despite him being so much stronger than Frieza at that time, this Frieza just grabs him and throws him away. Something was different here. Xeno Goku then interferes, but Frieza turns out to be a pretty tough one to him as well. By this time, Super Saiyan Goku has regained his consciousness. He does wonder why there's another version of him here, but he's more interested in the combined attack power of him and another Goku. Xeno Goku takes him up on that offer, and so together they both unleash a Super Kamehameha at Frieza from opposite directions. Frieza was about to be absolutely sandwiched between these two beams, but surprisingly he somehow manages to tank both waves. Trunks then intervenes and slashes him from behind, but this is when the secret behind Xeno Frieza's abnormal power becomes apparent. There was a Dark Dragon Ball within him. Still though, history was now back on its course. However, Toa shows up with her Demon God strength, overpowers Trunks, and retrieves the Dark Dragon Ball. Trunks refuses to just let her get away though, and so he quickly whips out a Kamehameha at Toa, but Mira intervenes and sacrifices himself to protect her. Toa successfully escapes, but Mira's death certainly angered her here. When she's back at the demon realm, the Dark King states that he's gathered an army of demon gods and demon soldiers to aid in the search of the Dark Dragon Balls now. Subsequently, Xeno Trunks and Xeno Goku also go back to the Time Nest. Apparently, Super Saiyan Goku had no questions. He just proceeded to lend the torn apart Frieza some of his ki. And why, you may ask? Well, it's because Frieza was sorry. Anyways, back at the Time Nest, Trunks and Goku meet a new Time Patroller. Xeno Vegeta has finally arrived, as the Time Patrollers are really filling out the roster here. He first reprimands Goku for getting a head start and then makes sure to ask Trunks about who's the strongest warrior he's ever seen. Looks like Kranoa already told him about Goku summoning, but anyways, this time there's two disturbances in history, both warranting immediate attention, so they split into two teams. Vegeta wanted to get going right away, so he and Trunks are on their way to one disturbance as he gives Trunks a radar he received from Bulma, and using that, they end up at the location of the Cell games, which was a literal bloodbath at this point. Everyone has been dusted, including Gohan. Xeno Cell was just too much for them to deal with. Vegeta calls them all small fries, including his past self, and then proceeds to completely destroy Xeno Cell with a final flash. Consider Trunks pretty impressed here. He was about to eliminate Xeno Cell, but gets thrown away by a sudden intruder. It's a couple of demons, and the one who sent Vegeta flying is Demon God Gravy. Now Vegeta is unconscious, and Trunks realizes that they are significantly outmatched, and so he brings out two Patara earrings from his pocket, and he hesitantly puts one on Vegeta. And upon this weird fusion, Xeno Vegeta is born. He begins to instantly overpower the Demon God Gravy, but seeing this, Gravy's companion uses some sort of dark magic on Xeno Cell to further evolve the darkness of the Dark Dragon Ball within him. Xeno Cell goes through a dark evolution and becomes a humongous menace. You can think of him as kind of like Cell Max, but with his perfect form. He is now Cell X. Even Vegeta was taken off guard with his speed, and Gravy uses that opportunity to strike a blow at him. Little did Gravy know Cell X was no one's friend. He was kind of just like a wild beast at this point, as Cell X takes him out as well. Both Vegeta and the Demon God team up to take on Cell X before they can resume their fight. Together they unleash two extraordinarily potent attacks, Burning Impact and Lightning Sentence, and scorch the ever-living daylights out of Cell X. However, their fusion had come undone because of the unreal amount of energy they had just used. Gravy was going to use this opportunity to kill them both, but that's when the Supreme Kai of Time warps them out of that situation entirely. But before reflecting on that, Kranoa had to tell them that Goku was in serious trouble. We then see an out of breath and heavily injured Xeno Goku as he's fighting against Xeno Majin Buu, while a stupid number of demon soldiers surround them on all sides. Suffice to say, Xeno Goku can barely hold up anymore. Though the demon army isn't really up against Goku, their objective is to retrieve the 3-star Dark Dragon Ball, and to that end, Demon God Deborah appears and tries to attack Xeno Majin Buu. He enjoys slicing Majin Buu in half and then turns his eyes towards Xeno Goku. Deborah was power tripping at this point, stating that he'll use his demon god powers to kill Goku as well. However, he was blinded by his arrogance, as Xeno Majin Buu appears from behind him in that moment and absorbs Demon God Deborah. This results in a massive power outrage, much stronger than what happened with Cell's Dark Evolution, and Xeno Majin Buu was now Dark Demon God Buu. This dude Majin Buu even gets a sword to go with some new drip. The demon army was not about to let this slide, however, as they all rush to somehow try and save Deborah, but he instantly eliminates everything about the demon army with Majin Buu's power. When Buu is done with them, he shifts his attention towards Goku and dashes towards him. Fortunately, Trunks appears and stops Buu to buy them some time. Meanwhile, both Goku and Vegeta are given Patara earrings by Kranoa. Of course, Vegeta would be reluctant as always, but eventually, Xeno Vegeta does enter the scene. The battle between these two titans begins as Vegeta first destroys Buu's sword, and then in a couple of blows he starts overwhelming him. Vegeta was going to land a finishing blow with his Spirit Saber, but their attack is swiftly blocked by a mysterious individual who just popped up out of nowhere. This would be the introduction of the Dark Demon God hero named Shamel, and he's there to take the 3-star Dragon Ball from Buu. Meanwhile, in another alternate timeline, a peculiar turn of events was taking place. The 4-star Dragon Ball was residing within the rogue Saiyan named Turles. The Dark King is also there at the scene together with a couple of subordinates. One of them is another demon god while the other is a masked Dark King. This individual is the dark incarnation of the King of Saiyans. King Vegeta himself is acting as a subordinate of the Dark King. As for the reason why the Dark King has brought him to the location of Xeno Turles, it appears this to test the worth of Xeno King Vegeta. And this is where the first volume of the most epic Dragon Ball manga you've probably never read before is gonna end. So guys, if you did enjoy this video and you want to see more of the Super Dragon Ball Heroes manga, be sure to leave a like and hit that subscribe button. Also press the notification bell down below to never miss an upload as soon as they go live. Have a great day, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye guys.